Welcome to the makeup portion of the video. I'm gonna try and keep this fast, easy, and in my comfort zone. So the first thing I'm doing is moisturizer. I essentially use moisturizer like a primer, and it just helps everything settle and blend. It makes my life 10 times easier. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's going on today. Today is day 1 of 100 days. This is a big thing that I've taken upon myself. This is a big challenge because what I'm essentially wanting to do is take these 100 days, which ends on Saturday the 3rd of August this summer, and basically kickstart my entire future. Because, hear me out, the last 2 years of my life, completely stagnant. The same thing all the time. I got comfortable. Life had consistent challenges, but the challenges didn't really force me to do anything to change in any way. And I've decided that the challenges are enough and it's time to start evolving. I swore all of the way through my high school experience, and honestly a lot of primary school, that, I didn't need school because, well, first it was that in primary school it was that I was gonna be a pop star. Then it was that I was going to be an author, and then it was that I was going to be a YouTuber.
What is up, you guys? Sans heavy, cringy soulless.
And the thing that all of those have in common is self-employment. So that's the main goal here, because I am not going to find a sense of purpose doing somebody else's work that they should be doing. I know in not all cases, it's work that somebody else should be doing, but at the end of the day, it's still for someone else, it's not for me. I have been both blessed and cursed with a very specific brain that wants a very specific thing and will not settle for anything less. So I think to do that justice, I have to become a person that will not settle for anything less. I have to become a person that is the person. I got my first job at 19. It was December of 2021. It was hospitality, and it was like an individual, independent business. It was very attractive to me that this was an independent business. I liked the fact that, it felt like supporting a small business. But some businesses are small for a reason. I don't go into that too much right now. But it was very safe to say that that work was not for me. And eventually it became the most draining experience of my entire life. That is like a very common general experience, especially for jobs at minimum wage. At the time, the minimum wage for my age was £6.56 an hour. And I was doing 100 hours in a month, which is crazy. When I got the job, I lived with my parents. It was a big novelty. It was like, holy shit, £656? That's so much money. And then I got adult expenses, and the whole thing fell apart. I'm sure, as you can expect, it did not last once it got like that. I was gone by the end of February of 2022. I didn't complete 3 months. After that, I had a string of very, very bad luck back to back, which I will not get into at all. And that was where my job journey kind of ended, and I fell stagnant. And so what I'm essentially doing now is I've had this realization of, I have fell stagnant. What do I do? Because the life I'm living now is not good. Everything gets more expensive all the time. The longer I wait to do something about my living situation, the poorer and poorer and poorer I get. I had a wake-up call when I received a sanction, and I was left with basically nothing, and I was like, that was when the realization hit me that they can do this to me anytime they want, and there's nothing I can do about it. If I slip up, give them the slightest reason to, they will make it so that I cannot do anything. And that is the same things that I hated about being in traditional employment, which is like answering to someone else and needing someone else's input in my own life and my own being. When somebody else is in charge of what I can and can't do, that's when things start to get a bit miserable. I need to find my contour. Where is it gone? There it is. So my purpose and my being in life, first and foremost, is storytelling. And that can come together in lots of different ways. But for me, the main way that is writing. But I have also been blessed with some other awkward passions that are incredibly difficult to make money from. And that is art. And then, of course, the childhood dreams of becoming a YouTuber. After a lot of planning, I'm blending a lot of these different worlds together. And what that has ended up being is it all comes down to doing the things I love doing and documenting the things I love doing. And makeup is also one of those things, but for me that kind of ties into art. For me, makeup is just painting but on my face, and it has been that way for many years for me. When I was about 14, I had a blue lipstick phase, and that was during the 2016 era of makeup. But essentially, what's been born out of all these new revelations that I've had is essentially this thing. I have decided that I have 100 days from today. Today's date is Thursday the 25th of April, and essentially I have to have made significant, measurable progress towards making a real, genuine career for myself. I've already identified what my biggest challenge is going to be, and that is YouTube Shorts. YouTube now has specific criteria that you have to fulfill to be able to be monetized, which is essentially what I need to start building a career off of all of these things. I feel like that's a very good home base to start on and hone in on. So I need to make YouTube Shorts. And YouTube measures this with 90 days, like within the last 90 days. A lot of the criteria is like difficult but doable. The YouTube Shorts one, you need 3 million YouTube Shorts views within 90 days. I worked that out, and I would have to be gaining 30,000 every single day for those 90 days. And I have recently left a lot of social media, and as well as coming to a point where I've just completely been off it. I think I'm gonna have to content create for these platforms now, because there's no point making YouTube Shorts and not posting them on other platforms, especially when they could gain traction. So my main project is this series that you're watching right now. That's the passion project, and I'm gonna turn the YouTube Shorts into a passion project. If I don't, it will never ever last. But I need a genuine, solid way to create content that I am enthusiastic about. One of the things I'll be doing on YouTube is talking about books. I made a booktube newbie tag in November of last year. And I've still been yet to come back to that. So that's my plan for one of my first videos, is like everything that I've read this year so far. I'm catching up with my reading goal, it's going well. I need to do the eyeliner now, which is gonna mean that I will be departing from this earth for a minute and not really talking during that. Okay, that was smooth. I like that. Can I get them even? I think this looks even. The awkward thing about it is, though, that I don't have equal eyelids to do it on. I'm not sure how I feel about the inner corner wings. They definitely could be better. They're messy. I think this is the best I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some brown eyeshadow and put that underneath my eye. I just tried to put the mascara wand back into the tube about 3 times, right down my finger. So today is day one of, you know, a magical, life-changing 100 days. But also what today is planning day. Because I am not 100% sure on all of the specifics of things yet. But what I'm also going to be doing today is going to the library. That is a very recent development in my life. I signed up for a library card a few days ago now. And then we're going to be going to the library today. The one that I went to before was the one in Leeds city centre. Today we're going to the local one, which is literally just down the road. I'm going to add a little bit of shape to my eyebrows, but not much. But I think a very simple habit, such as just making a regular trip to the library, I think is a very good mental health thing, because it's a reason to leave the house when there are so little reasons to leave the house in general. It does kind of all just make it feel a bit more worth it. So we're gonna go and have a look at things, and it's gonna be a really fun time. My hair is having its own little party right now. I'm gonna do that off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is the hairstyle that I did. It's uneven, but we're not gonna talk about that right now because it's only the library. This look is only for the library. So I will be back soon. Okay, so we're back from the trip to the library. Interesting experience. We'll get there soon. I'm gonna go through the books that I do have. This is my stack. The top three, these top three are the ones that I got from the city centre library. There's Alice in Borderland. I got really invested in this. I have about this much left and I've like read this much. And that was all in like the last 24 hours. There's My Solo Exchange Diary. This was insane. I finished this already. That's crazy. There's Batgirl Birds of Prey. I've not actually read this one yet or opened it yet, but it's definitely there on the priorities list. I'm very excited to get into this. It's like... Then we have this one, which actually isn't mine.
Oh yeah.
We got Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. I haven't read this yet, but I'm gonna read it. It wasn't taken out on my card, like my library card.
It was taken out on mine.
Exactly.
The non-reader.
The non-reader, exactly. The non-reader approves this book. It has the stamp of approval from a non-reader. So I think that on its own is a reason for me to open this. And then what we're on to now is what I picked up today. There's Nimona. I haven't seen the Netflix at all, but I know that it exists, and this is gonna be fun. I know I'm gonna like this. It's quite a thick, chunky book, but with something like this, I think I'll get through it in a few hours. Then we have Snot Girl. I'm very excited to get into this.
I also will.
Yeah, we're both gonna read this. The art style in this is crazy. I love it. I mean, look at this. Illustration. That's one of my things. Illustration. So, consuming a lot of illustration. Good for the line of work that I want to get into. This is going to get read very fast. I can tell. And then, I decided to push myself a little bit. It's not pushing myself normally, but I think for like library books with a time constraint, got a full-length novel. I got The Perfectionists by Sarah Shepard. I have a few of the original Pretty Little Liars books. I have these two that I own. There's Pretty Little Liars and Flawless, which is like the first and second. Read this all the way through a while ago. And then I started this, and I actually didn't end up finishing it. I think I was on an audiobook and like ebook era at the time where I was using my Kindle a lot more than physical books. But something about these books specifically is crazy. The floppiest books. I think it's because American books are floppier than English books. So these are the few American books that I own, and That's insane. These are so nice to hold. I've had this like as something I've wanted to read for such a long time now, so I'm gonna get into this. And I feel like reading physical books from a library is like a good way of like motivation, because I have a specific date that I want to finish the book by, and I think that's a good way to keep on top of things. This is the stack of library books that I have right now. I'm going to try and get through them quite fast. I'm not going to be going through them as fast as I was previously, because previously I wasn't trying to build an entire career in 100 days, but now I am. So maybe reading might take a slight backseat, but also not, because I'm making content about books. It's kind of a whole thing. So the experience at the library was insane. The first time that we went was the one in the city centre, and that was a very nice experience. You know, we got a card and like everybody we saw was very nice and welcoming. Today we went to the local one, and we don't live in the best area, and we went in and it was quite small. There were like shelves of books like right next to the doorways with like the desk in the middle. We were looking at the young adult section, which was like right by the door. We were being watched very heavily.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare to see people around our area with coloured hair. So I think I think she thought we were gonna steal, especially probably with me walking in with an empty tote bag as well, because the lady that was at reception when we walked in like made an effort to like walk past us multiple times and like stand right at the doorway, like when we were like looking at the shelves, and then also when we were like at the machine checking the books out. She very clearly wasn't there to do anything specific, because when she went to the door she was just kind of looking out as if she was trying to look like she was doing something but not actually doing something. We were being judged and watched, and she was definitely trying to catch us out, trying to take something. The only things we took are things that will be returned with our cards.
It was a crazy time.
It was. That was insane. Anyways. So a lot of hours have passed, and I've been editing this video. What a fourth wall break. That's crazy. Time is 9:15 p.m. The cat is Luna. Hello, Luna. Welcome to the outro portion of the video. If you've stuck around and watched me yap this long, then thank you so much. These videos probably won't be daily, but I'm going to try and get them out as often as possible. This is a very big and ambitious project. Literally any support that you could give would be the coolest thing in the entire world. In the description, I will have linked my linktree, which will send you directly to all of my creative endeavours, most of which you can access for free, that being pretty much all of them. If there's anything that you'd like me to make or do, please let me know in the comments, because there's a good chance I probably will do it. Thank you so much for watching. Please watch and interact with my YouTube shorts, I beg.
Did you see that?